Judith Herman's Trauma and Recovery is a seminal work that bridges psychology, history, and social justice. It argues that trauma is not only a personal experience, but also a political issue, shaped by power, oppression, and silence. The book begins with the premise that trauma shatters connection. Survivors of violence, whether domestic abuse, sexual assault, or political terror, often feel isolated, silenced, and disconnected from themselves and others. Healing requires restoring these connections. A central theme is the parallel between private and public trauma. Herman draws connections between survivors of domestic violence and survivors of war or political terror, showing that the psychological aftermath is strikingly similar. Both involve fear, helplessness, and the struggle to reclaim identity. Another key theme is the stages of recovery. Herman outlines a three-stage model: safety, establishing physical and emotional security; remembrance and mourning, confronting and processing traumatic memories; and reconnection, rebuilding relationships and reclaiming life. The book explores major lessons across its chapters. Trauma silenced. Society often denies or minimizes trauma, leaving survivors isolated. The psychology of trauma. Trauma disrupts memory, identity, and trust. Domestic abuse and political terror. Different contexts, but similar psychological impact. Stages of recovery. Healing requires safety, remembrance, and reconnection. The role of community. Recovery is supported by recognition, justice, and solidarity. The politics of trauma. Silence and denial perpetuate harm. Acknowledgment fosters healing. Practical insights include prioritize safety. Survivors need secure environments before healing can begin. Validate experiences. Recognition of trauma is essential for recovery. Support mourning. Survivors must process grief and loss. Encourage reconnection. Healing involves rebuilding trust and relationships. Challenge denial. Societal acknowledgment of trauma is critical. Herman blends clinical case studies, historical analysis, and social commentary. She draws on her psychiatric work with survivors of abuse and political violence, while also examining how societies respond or fail to respond to trauma. Another theme is the politics of memory. Herman argues that trauma is often denied or silenced, whether in families or nations. Recovery requires breaking this silence and acknowledging the truth. The book also emphasizes the universality of trauma. Whether experienced in private or public contexts, trauma produces similar psychological wounds. Healing requires both personal resilience and collective recognition. The book closes with a reminder: recovery is possible, but it requires safety, remembrance, and reconnection. Survivors need both personal support and societal acknowledgement to heal fully. At its core, Trauma and Recovery is about justice. It invites readers to see trauma not only as an individual struggle, but as a collective responsibility, demanding compassion, recognition, and change.